Hello everyone, welcome to this class. In this class, we're going to continue our class on indices. I'm going to solve further laws of indices. Today, we are going to deal with the product law, which says that x raised power a or raised power b is equal to x raised power the index a multiplied by b, which is equal to this. So let's start. So we'll use this example to explain this law. This is x squared or raised power 3. According to the law, x raised power a or raised power b, this is how you solve it. You just multiply the index inside x by that outside. So this is what we do. Now, x squared or raised power 3 is the same as saying x squared times x squared times x squared. If we're going to apply our law of indices, the one we did in the previous law, is going to be x squared. You add all this power here to be x, this one is square, plus 2 plus 2, which will give you x raised power 6. And now, if you are going to check the other way, according to what the law says we should multiply this out. It will be x squared or raised power 3, which will be the same as x squared. That it will be 2 times 3, 2 times 3, which is the same as x raised power 6. So it's always the same anytime we apply the law. So let's solve for that example. The next example we're going to solve is I'm going to solve y raised to power 4 all squared. It's very simple. You just say this is equal to y raised to power 4 times 2, which is the same as y raised to power 8. This is your answer. I think this is your answer too. If you apply this method that I used here, you still get the same y raised to power 8. You can try that on your own. Next thing you are going to solve is z raised to power 3 or raised to power 5. This is very simple. You can just say z raised to power 3 times 5, which is the same as z raised to power 15. So that's that for the product law. Is very simple. Let's solve exercise 1b number. Exercise 1b number. The exercise 1b number 6. Just to test ourselves on what we've learned. You have number 6 saying f raised to power 0 or raised to power what? 8. It's looking nice, right? It's still very simple. Just apply your product law. You have f raised to power 0 times 8, right? Which is the same thing as f raised to power 0. And from the previous law we did, anything raised to power 0 is what? 1, right? So let's assume this is looking confusing. Let's try another method. We can say something like, let's assume I solve this f, because anything raised to power 0 is 1. I will say something like f raised to power 0 or raised to power 8. And we all know that anything raised to power 0 is 1. So it will give you 1 raised to power 8. Okay, let me just say, I've already just solving what is inside there. I'll have something like 1 or raised to power 8. And you know that 1, let's do it this way. This is equal to, let's do it this way. You see 1 times 1 times 1 times 1 times 1 times 1 times 1. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 times 1. So by the time you multiply all these things out, you are still getting 1. So I think this solve it for the product rule. Let's go to the next rule. Before I go to the next rule, there's something I want to clear in this product rule so that we don't mistake it. I want to clear something here. When you have more than one values inside the bracket, what are you going to do? Just know that what is outside applies also to what is inside. Let me give you an example. Let's solve this exercise 1c number 1. You have something like 3 raised to power 4 or squared. This is number 1. Mind you, as I said earlier, any number you see that you didn't see any power on it, just know that the power there is 1. So this is like saying something like this is equal to 3 raised to power 1 m raised to power 4 all squared. So in this case, this product rule will apply to this and also apply to that. So here you have something like 3 raised to power 1 times 2 all times m raised to power 4 times 2. These are how you solve things like when you have multiple values inside the bracket, apply the product rule to each of them. As long as they are multiplying each other. I know when it is adding, you use another method, but here we are talking about multiplication. So here you have something like 3 squared times m, because 1 times 2 is square, while 4 times 2 is 8. So your final answer will be something like 3 square is what? 9. What am I saying? 3 square is 9, then m 8. This is your final answer. Let's solve for the second one. So I have something like minus 2b squared or cube. So this minus 2 now is raised power 1. So it's the same thing as minus 2 all raised power 1 times b all squared all raised to power 3. So this will be minus 2 1 times 3 times b squared b 2 times 3. This applied here and also applied here. So you have something like minus 2 raised power 3 is minus 9. It's minus 8, sorry. Minus 8. Because when you do something like, let me say, you say minus 2 times minus 2 times minus 2 is minus here. So minus 2 times minus 2 is 4. 4 times minus 2 is minus 8. So we have something like this times b raised to power 6. So when you join it together, it will be minus 8b all raised to power 6. So I said to solve this before I move to the next law, so we don't miss it out. So the next law is what we're going to do next. So still on exercise 1C, we have this. So let's solve it. Number 17 of it, you have 5. Here I'm showing times you have more up to 3. The last one I did was 2. Now we have up to 3. Still apply the same rule since all of them here are multiplying. If you have something like plus or minus here, the rule will change. This is not how you solve, but for the multiplication. So you have something like this is equal to 5 raised power 1 times m raised power 1 times n raised power 3 or raised power 3. So you apply the rule individually. It will be 5 raised power 1 times 3 times m raised power 1 times 3 times n raised power 3 times 3. That's when you put this inside the bracket, you get this. So this 5 raised power 1 times 3 is 125 times m 1 times 3 is 3 times n 3 times 3 is 9. So your final answer is 125 m cube n 9. Let's go to the next question. Next question says this, number 18. I want to teach you something in this one. Minus 4 u squared v all raised power 3. We can also say that this is the same thing as minus. You can solve the minus separate and you can still solve it with a number. Let's solve it with a number. Minus 4 1 times u squared times v all raised power what? 3. So this is the same thing as minus 4 when you open up the bracket 1 times 3 times u squared times 3 times v 1 times 3. Minus 4, this will give you minus 4 cube times u 6 when this multiply this times v raised power 3. So minus 4 times 4 will give you plus 16. Plus 16 times minus 4 will give you minus 64. Minus 64 times u raised power 6 times v raised power 3. So your final answer is minus 64 U 6 V 3. So you see the way we are taking it one after the other and solving it, so you don't get confused when you see multiple stuff inside the bracket. Just solve all of them individually and multiply it out. So the next question we are going to solve is this. We have something like minus d, okay, that's number 24, minus d squared or raised to power 3 all over d4 times minus d. Before you start, there's something I want you to know. You notice that this minus is on its own. Nothing is affecting it. Unlike all these other minus that are inside the bracket where the power will affect it. Like this one too is inside the bracket, the power will affect it. But this minus is on its own. So as we are solving, it will always remain on its own. These are the things I always say about this plus and minus sign. They are always one of the things that make people fail simple questions. So it means that this whole question will be multiplied by minus. That's what it means. So let's start. Here, we apply product rule here, and then apply product rule here. Also apply the other rule we used in the previous class. Then we are now do the division rule. I think that's what we're going to. So here we have minus d squared. We open up this bracket 2 times 3. Mind you, the minus is on its own, so you don't go and join it to the question. All over d squared, d raised to power 4 times minus d. So this minus d is same as minus d raised to power 1. And when you do minus d raised to power 1, it's same as minus d. So when we now solve for this, we have something like minus d 2 times 3 is what? 6, all divided by d raised to power 4 times minus d will give you minus d raised to power 5. If we apply the rule we used in the previous class where we say if you have x a times x b, you have x a plus b. So that's what I did here. This 4 will now add to this one, but the minus sign is coming out. So the next thing we are going to do, you see that minus is here, minus is, so the minus will cancel minus, and you have d raised to power 6 all over d raised to power 5. We now apply the other law of x divided by x b will give you x a minus b. So the one on top will be, this will be d 6 minus 5, which is taken as d raised to power 1. The answer is D. So one thing you have to note here is that when you are solving for mathematics and you have negative sign, if the negative sign is on its own, leave it to be on its own. Don't apply any square to it, as we have here. But here now, see that this one has a minus. It's like saying 2 raised to power 4 times minus 2. That's what we did here. You see that the minus sign will finally turn everything here to make minus. But the most important thing I want to point out is this minus sign here. Some might make mistake of when they see this question first, as they are solving these 3, they are applying. Although even if you apply it, because it's an odd number, the minus will still be there. But be careful. This minus is not to be affected. It's supposed to remain on its own. And finally, when we are here, our denominator is giving us a negative sign. Ended up cancelling each other. Thank you, and see you in the next class.